Last time on the Harry Hill Show.
Harry Hill Show!
Hello there, I'm Harry Hill, and this is my show.
It's the Harry Hill Show!
What's up, Gary? You look like Alabala stole your hallam ballum.
It's my shoes, Daddy. All the other boys are teasing me about my new shoes.
Well, they are a little flamboyant, Gary, aren't they?
Yes, they're a collab between Christian Labuta and the Danbury Mint.
Well, as long as you like them, Gary, that's the main thing.
Yes, I love them. I love them so much, they make me want to tap dance. Hooray!
Careful, Gary. Oh.
Woohoo! My shoes.
Gary, the guest is here.
Well, in that case, we'd better welcome our guest.
Kiri Pritchard-McLean.
Thanks
Welcome,
so much.
Kiri. McLean?
I say McLean, but I'm not that precious about it.
Well, no, it's that joke. You remember Too Young for Cracker Jack, aren't you?
I am slightly, yeah.
Peter Glaze used to say to Don McLean, McLean? And he'd say, yes, I had a bath this morning.
Very good.
Doesn't really work, though. McLean. Anyway, welcome. Lovely to see you.
Really nice to see you.
And I'm trying to remember the last time I saw you. You may have been on a train.
I think it was. Yeah, I still feel embarrassed about
Yeah,
that.
well, it was weird because we were, and we have met a number of times before,
Yeah,
right? You know,
yeah.
around the clubs, doing the gigs. And we were on a train, and I looked over, and basically it was the table next to us, me and my tour manager, we were on the way to, I don't know, Cardiff or somewhere.
Glasgow, I think. We're
Glasgow,
all
yes,
going to
always get
Glasgow.
those two mixed up. Glasgow. And I looked over, and there you were. I thought, oh, that's Kiri Pritchard-McLean. And you were on the phone, but you were talking Welsh, right? You, all that. And I said to the tour manager, I think that's Kiri. And he's going, we're both sort of looking over, and you're very animated on the phone. And
You're now banned from Wales for
yes,
that impression.
no offence. I know they're very touchy. And so I texted you. I think I texted you.
You texted me, yeah.
I was sort of, we were trying to say Kiri like that, sort of to attract your attention, but you weren't responding to that. So I texted you something like, what did they put?
You said, are you on a train speaking Welsh? And I looked around and you were sat opposite me,
Yeah.
and I hadn't noticed.
I know.
Because I've been so engrossed, because I'm not a first language Welsh speaker, I have to really concentrate.
Well, it
So
seemed very convincing to me. It did. And
I was just going, Harry Hill keeps staring at me, and he's sat on the table opposite me, and I'm trying to ignore him. That's what I was saying in Welsh.
yeah, probably. No, but and I was just listening. I was saying earlier that I was very moved by something that you did on the radio, which is why I kind of got in touch with you, because you were doing a thing on Radio 4 about, what was it?
It's kind of where you go for a walk in the countryside, and they ask you about your relationship with nature.
They've let all the studios go. That's why.
So now you just have to keep on the move,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you don't have to pay any location fees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Martha Carney, I think it was.
Right.
Yes.
And what you were talking about living in Anglesey.
Yeah.
And about how you were fostering
Yeah.
children, which is something just really sweet about it. And I thought, oh gosh, I had no idea that she was so nice. Because it doesn't come across when you, after she'd been so mean to me. Oh dear.
Licky the Harry
Oh,
Hill
no.
Show mascot.
It's Licky the Harry Hill Show mascot.
Licky.
He's coming in for a lick.
Just with my foster carer head on.
Mind the hair. Mind the hair. She's taking ages on that. Go on. Get back to your quarters.
I hope he's got a DBS, because just with my
We never got the results of that DBS check.
pending.
Yeah. So you live in on a farm in Anglesey.
Yeah, so I grew up on Anglesey, and then I moved back, about 2020, and yeah, I live on a farm in the middle of kind of nowhere, and I love it.
Difficult to get the gigs though, isn't it? I mean, not entirely practical.
It is. Sometimes you have to sit on a train all the way to Glasgow.
And is it true that the dating, and I've got I thought of a joke, that the dating app on Anglesey is Angle Grinder?
Very good. Really good stuff. Yeah. Interestingly, if you are on dating apps where I'm from, quite often you get paired up with people from Dublin and the Isle of Man.
Because it's close. It's closer, I suppose.
It's closer, yeah, than because you've got to set your perimeters quite wide, otherwise it is immediate family. Yeah. So it's so you got to start fishing around Ireland.
Yeah, but how does your partner feel about that?
We're very modern.
Yeah, we're foster parents and swingers. Foster swingers. What? So listen, how do you feel about AI?
Genuinely?
Yes, genuinely.
I feel very unsettled by it and don't really use it at all. No. And I've got some friends who are in kind of deep relationships with ChatGPT and use them like therapists, and I find it quite chilling. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the time you don't know you're using it, I think.
Yes, that's the other thing, is I feel like it's stealth moved into things. However, I think here's the problem is I think when it's used in things like medicine, so like Mia, it scans like results of mastectomies and can get much quicker results. So you still have to obviously have the consultants check it, but it can really streamline things. But we're not using it for that. We're just like being like, where should I go on holiday, and using huge amounts of like energy. Yeah. And I think we shouldn't be allowed it. I think intelligent people with important jobs should. So
do you think that the consultants, they're looking at the results from Mia and then they're booking a holiday? They earned that holiday.
Yeah, but it will be to a left breast. Like, that's the only information they've got from that.
Yeah. Well, we have got an AI bot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a bit nervous about introducing it. Sarah, the AI bot, is going to tell us a little bit about you.
Can I be cheeky? Can I make a request?
Highly unorthodox, but...
It's only because on my way over here, I saw a primary school playground full of children doing the Andy Burnham dance.
Oh, yeah, they're all doing it.
And obviously it would make me cool with the kids that come and stay with me if I got to do the Andy Burnham dance.
We've made a bit of a rod for our own back with this thing. It's become bigger than the podcast in many ways. But yeah, as it's you, Kiri, come on, let's do the Andy Burnham. Let's do it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Clap your hands. Throw a chair. Peel a parsnip. Iron your trousers. Sieve the greens. Strangle the fox. Pipe the buttercream. Stub your toe. Cancel your Netflix. Andy Burnham.
That felt really good.
Yeah.
That felt so good.
Yeah, you're good at that.
I was having an out-of-body experience. I was sort of watching myself doing it.
Yeah. No, you're good at that. Not everyone gets it. Should we get Sarah out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, come on out, Sarah. Here she comes. She rustles while she walks. Say hello to Kiri.
Hey Kiri, great to meet you. Big fan. Love all things Welsh. Got nothing but good things to say about the Welsh. Cause I don't want them to burn down my holiday home in Llanfair Gwyngyth Gogeraquin Drobuth Lantasilio Gogogog.
Oh,
pretty good.
Diane, that was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Welsh are a bit. Where did that
friendly?
Come from? Where does that come from? That.
I think maybe the Welsh knot. It's got something to do with it. That they were in.
What's the Welsh knot?
Very English of you to ask. So
they don't teach us this stuff at school, see?
So essentially, a group of 3 English academics came and sort of investigated the Welsh, and then said, "Oh, they're a very thick, uncivilized nation," and they said all the women were quite loose. So they were right in some respects. And then they said, because they tested the children, they said they're far below the English children in attainment, but they tested the children in English and the children didn't speak English. So they introduced a thing called the Welsh knot. And so if you were caught speaking Welsh in school, you'd have to wear this sort of block of wood around your neck, and then whoever's wearing it at the end of the day was beaten.
Good heavens.
So we are a bit touchy.
Yeah. When did this happen?
It was still happening with my grandparents up until the 40s. Yeah, my grandparents.
Oh, in the 40s?
Yeah.
Blooming. Right. Okay. Well, may I take this opportunity to apologise?
Yeah, good.
Sarah, you're going to tell us a bit about Kiri?
Okay, here goes. Kiri Louise Pritchard-McLean is a Welsh comedian and
I think we've
writer.
established
She
that.
has performed for several consecutive years at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe and won 5 Chortle Awards. Early
5
life born in
chortles.
Gloucester.
Is it more?
So you not Welsh? Pritchard-McLean was the first daughter and last
Born in
child of
Gloucester.
3. She was raised on a farm in Llanbedagog, on the island of Anglesey, Wales.
It's not bad.
Not bad. So it's not 5 chortles.
I think it's more. I think it's actually 7 now.
I think you know it's 7.
No, I don't actually, because also once you get past 5, you stop counting, don't you? But I know it's more than that.
You might have won one, while you're here or
Yeah.
sort of in transit.
Impending,
You
yeah.
never know with that lot. Chortle, by the way, is a sort of comedy website, isn't
Yes,
it?
not real awards, I would
No.
argue.
It's just for sort of comedians, I think, really,
Yeah.
isn't it, to look at and see how many awards they've won. But you were born in. So what happened here? So you're born in Gloucester. Your family weren't farmers then, or
So, well, the whole story is I was born in Gloucester, and then when I was 8 months old, my father was relocated with his job to North Wales. And so
what did he do?
He worked. I'm going to be vague because I'm going to be not nice about who he worked for, but he worked for an animal welfare charity, and then he moved him and his very young family to this house that had like no indoor bathroom and things, and then they sacked him a few weeks later.
Ouch.
Yeah, so my mum, who had been doing a bit of farming on the side, was like, okay, well, we'll start a farm.
Right.
And that's what she did.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was to Anglesey, and that is it an island?
It is an island, yeah.
Island.
2 bridges, desperate for a third, as you know. Big talking point on the island, the third bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you only need one to go in, one to come out, don't you? Why do you need the third one?
Because often the old one is just turned 200 this year, is closed because it needs repairs and or high winds, etc.
Right.
So then you've only got one route on and off, and we've obviously got the Irish ferries. You know all this stuff.
But this is fascinating. This is stuff we don't hear about, really. Okay, great. And how many in the family?
I'm one of 3, the youngest
Okay.
of 3, 2 brothers.
And are they farmers or?
Well, they're older than me. There's an age gap of 7 and 9 years.
So you're the baby.
Yes, I'm the baby and the only girl, which means I can cry on demand. And my brothers are both in teaching. It goes with the family.
Right. So you're taking over the family farm, essentially, are you?
Yeah, well,
Kind of.
I'm taking me and my eldest brother have started working on a permaculture farm together so kind of regenerative farming.
So what's permaculture?
Permaculture is basically a principle of farming where it's about like nourishing the community in the land and not just extracting. So there's 12 core principles to it. It's quite sort of like hippie
Right.
farming,
Right.
commie farming.
Does it involve burning your own effluent?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, cooking on methane from your own farts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we all started doing that during the pandemic, didn't we? It's a very difficult habit to kick, burning your own effluent. Sarah, have you got anything further to add about our friend Kiri?
Not sure how she got into stand-up. Information is scanty. Pritchard-McLean is the director and writer for sketch group Guy's Family
Guy's
Gift Shop,
Family
who were
Gift
nominated
Shop.
for Best Newcomer in 2014 for the Edinburgh Comedy Award. Pritchard-McLean done have I got news for you. One of Russell Howard's things. She done. Hypothetical. And cats do countdown. Would I lie to you and multiple appearances on Radio 4.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's quite fair. Yeah. Or I mean, I have another sketch group called Tarot.
What happened to Guy's Family's gift shop? Are they still going?
No, we sort of disbanded, and some of us went and joined another sketch group called Goose, who I think you know Goose.
Oh, I've heard of Goose.
Yeah, so Goose and some of Gaines came together to make Tarot, basically. So,
Right, so it's
new
like a-
super group.
Super sketch group.
Yeah.
And where do you do these?
Well,
It's tricky, isn't it, being in a sketch group?
it is. In fact, the last thing my partner said to me was ask him why he didn't book Tara for his Harry Hill Comedy Club night on TV.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really like sketch groups.
That's fine. Yeah, me
Is that
either.
okay?
Yeah.
Tell him that. No, I mean, I think I don't remember that. There was some tryouts at the Moth, weren't there?
There were, yeah. It's
Moth
listen.
Club.
It's hard to sketch is a young man's game. It's when you're
So
in
is
your
this,
20s.
love. So is this, believe me. Yeah. You try this, 61 years old.
Is that how old you are? You look good on it, don't you?
Well, you know.
What SPF are you using? Come on.
My moisturising regime.
Yeah.
I start with a double cleanse. Nothing fancy, Oil. I use an oil-based but emulsifying balm, followed by a sulfate-free foaming cleanser. Then move on to a face tonic. All this face tonic of beta-hydroxy acids combined to really clear out the congested pores, and followed by an alpha-hydroxy acid to increase radiance. Then, I don't know about you, I use a Korean-style hydrating essence.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
They're packed full of multimolecular humectants like, polyglutamic and hyaluronic acid. And I protect my skin barrier, like most people, with ceramides, peptide packed non-occlusive gel base. And then I prevent damage from both UVA and UVB with a broad spectrum sunscreen of at least factor 30.
Yeah, that's good. That's absolutely immaculate as a skincare routine.
Unless I'm in a hurry, then one quick wipe with a flannel. Stop it, Mum. It's the musty one. It's the musty flannel. Stop it, Mum. I can't breathe. You're hurting me. Sorry, Kiri. Would you excuse me for a moment?
Of course.
Selfie, girls? Yeah, selfie. Yeah, anyone want a selfie? That's it. Okay. Got it? So it's £1.
Oh,
Yeah.
just the thing.
Oh, thanks.
You're very
Cheers.
welcome. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Just had to.
No problem.
Right, Sarah. Do you want to say anything further about Kiri?
She is also co-host of the podcast All Killer No Filler with Rachel Fairburn. Her half-hour radio stand-up show Kiri Pritchard-McLean, Existential Crisis, was on BBC Radio 4. She was awarded the Caroline Aherne Bursary. Pritchard-McLean will also receive mentorship from a BBC comedy commissioning editor to develop a comedy script. Pritchard-McLean and her partner are respite foster parents in Anglesey. Her Peacock tour was based on this. That's it. You're up to date with Kiri Priti Patel.
It's not. Oh, and she's dropped you a Twix, Kiri.
Oh, that's nice. I can't eat it.
Oh,
Vegs, innit?
she's a vegan, Sarah. For crying out loud, do your research. Yeah, we had a similar problem with Deborah Meaden.
She a vegan?
She's plant-based. She can't say she's vegan,
yes.
apparently, because she eats skin
Right.
or blood, drinks blood. So this was good, wasn't it? This Caroline Aherne bursary.
Yes.
Did you ever meet Caroline?
No, I really wish I had. What an incredible talent. Yeah.
But she was. I only met her a few times, but she was quite naughty. She was sort of trouble.
I love that though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She had a real twinkle. I had this thing. I mean, I don't know if I should tell this story, but I was trying to impress a girl. Mm-hmm. It's before I was married, long before I was married, and found my soulmate and life partner. Hi, darling, if you're watching, she won't be. So I took her to the up the creek.
Yeah.
Right. And because Caroline was on doing a nun act.
Sister Mary Immaculate. Yeah.
And it was like a really weird night. And do you remember Jimbo?
No.
Yeah, it was this odd act. Sometimes he would kill it, absolutely kill it. Other nights he'd just absolutely die the worst possible death. And that night he had this, it was a cuddly toy dog that he had tied to the mic stand, and he was feeding it dog food.
Wet or dry?
Wet.
Sure.
Out of a tin. And then he started eating it himself, and it was just horrible, and he was gagging. And actually afterwards I said to him, is that what did you put in the tin? Is it stew? He said, no, it's dog food. And I thought, well, why wouldn't you put something... Why wouldn't you make us think it was dog food? But it's not really dog food. Anyway, it was like an awful night. And, some nights there, it could be a bit odd, couldn't it? People sort of a bit leery. Anyway, we get a taxi back, and I gave Caroline a lift in the cab as well. So the three of us in the cab. And she's going to me, so you two, are you going to be staying in the same bed tonight? Really uncomfortable. Yeah, she's good.
Harry Hill Show!
Are you one of them reality TV stars, famous in the 90s, early 2000s?
Do you know what? If you don't like it, switch off.
Such as Tabby Callahan, Alan Twitchmart, Liz Thrash, or David Bowie. Sorry, not David Bowie. Jennifer Aniston? No? Raksu. Yes, that's right, Raksu. Used to living high on the hog, but work not coming in quite like it was. You've been in the jungle, done Strictly, celebrity catchphrase, tipping point, celebrity pointless, and your agent keeps asking about traitors, but they're ignoring her calls. You are a victim of the fame surplus. There's simply not enough celeb-based shows to go round for everyone to whack on the teeth. Well, turn that famous face into instant cash with the new selfie board from Regency Innovations. Simply draw round your face, pay your subscription to receive a coupon, which then unlocks a link to a QR code that takes you to our interactive website. Upload your face size, small, medium, or Winston Churchill, and for the cost of a Super Saver Anytime Day return with Senior Rail Card, you'll receive your selfie board made from durable corrugated cardboard with a bespoke laser-cut hole that fits your face exactly. Wander around affluent areas like the deli counter in Waitrose, car park of the wine bar, Paul Burrell's loft, or Paul Murrell's motor caravan, and watch your income soar. Beat the fame surplus with a selfie board. Also available in Spam, Black Spam, and corned beef flavors. Buy one selfie board and get a set of free stick-on Andy Burnham eyebrows. Absolutely free. A can of verbal incontinence magic putty and a Peter Mandelson cuckoo clock. Absolutely free. Absolutely free. Warning, may have no effect whatsoever. Sorry, fame is the mask that eats your own face.
Regency Innovations. Princely interventions in an uncaring world.
Fame.
It's time for our theme of the week. Music hall. Music hall. And we're joined by our expert, who is Oliver Double, reader of comic and popular performance at the University of Kent.
Absolutely.
Full disclosure, I know you and so does Kiri.
Yeah.
We're sort of friends.
I think we have a very strange connection, though.
Oh?
So, yeah, you were my... Well, you explain how we know each other.
You didn't foster him, did you?
No.
This is my eldest.
Yeah, that's right. They grow up so quickly. So Kiri used to teach stand-up, but there used to be a comedy course at University of Salford, and I was the external examiner. So I saw her feedback to her students, and it was amazing. It was so good.
Well,
it
that's
was
a relief.
incredibly supportive, detailed, and individualised. It was.
So you would go in. And what were you looking for? I mean, isn't it as simple as, how funny are you, or?
No, because it's not, is it? It's more, you can see someone having, we all know we can see a bad comedian having a good gig, and we can see a good comedian having a bad gig. And you'd mark them on things like how ambitious they were with their material. Had they used things like their voice, movement? Did it feel like the first punchline? Had they pushed it past that?
Oh.
So there's lots of feedback you can give, I think.
Okay.
And I think there was really specific stuff about like this gag would work well in this gig, but not if you tried it here, it just wouldn't work. That kind of thing, which is actually like way beyond what somebody who's starting out would normally be able to access that knowledge. It was great.
Good. Now,
Yeah, I recognise that we were going down a cul-de-sac, but I couldn't stop driving.
You put all that behind you for today to talk about musical. Now, I have a love of the idea of musical, but I'm not sure I know much about the specifics of it. What is music hall?
So music hall was a popular entertainment form that started in the mid-19th century, and it was sort of the predominant form of popular entertainment right through to really the 1950s, and it's sort of staggered on into the early 60s.
Right. So, what did we have before music hall then?
Well, before music hall, there were a bunch of different things.
We had Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Mrs. Brown's Boys, exactly. Well, funnily enough, there were some very crude and bawdy shows called Song and Supper Rooms, where they had genuinely naughty lyrics. I mean, I've got a book here, Bawdy Songs of the Early Music Hall.
Brilliant,
right? And,
brilliant.
Okay, if I just get my glasses out, I can read you a sample lyric. Oh, how I love to ride my hot, my wheedling, coaxing bride.
Wow.
Goodness me.
Pretty on the nose.
Yeah. And the bride presumably isn't the name of the horse.
No, and also what's quite interesting about the songs is it's not just about male sexual pleasure either. It's like the women like it as much as the men in those songs.
Well, let's hear one of those.
You're a feminist. I love that.
Absolutely. So it's the mid 19th century.
Yeah. So what starts to happen is that you have these song clubs where people sing songs, right? And they sit around a table and they take it in turns. There's a chairman who sort of calls them up to sing. And they would, take it in turns. And apparently they could be quite rough. If people didn't like it, they would throw stuff.
So there was an audience.
Well, what started to happen was instead of just being the singers, people would come along to watch. And then eventually it changes so that people are actually on a little stage and it's much more like a kind of show. But initially, audiences sat around tables eating and drinking.
In a pub?
Well, yeah, initially in a pub. And then in the 1850s, you start to get purpose-built music halls. So the first one was the Canterbury Music Hall.
Oh, in Canterbury?
Not in Canterbury, in London, strangely.
Right.
They were playing a trick with the name of that. And there was a guy called Charles Morton started it. And then they gradually, as it became more popular, very, very quickly, you start to get hundreds of these things around London and then around the rest of the UK. And as it starts to grow, the theatres gradually change shape. So Wilton's in London would be an example of one from the 1870s. And not many of those buildings survived. And then examples of ones later than that would include the Hackney Empire, opened in 1901, and the London Palladium, which opened in 1910.
Right, but yeah, I mean, have you played Wilton's, Kiri?
No, I haven't. I played the others. Is it kind of Frank Matchamy theatres?
Yeah, absolutely. Frank Matcham was one of the
but
architects.
Not Wilton's, though, was it? Wilton's isn't Frank Matcham, no. I mean, Wilton's is a very odd thing. I mean, isn't it like the last music hall?
Yeah, of that
era.
Yeah, that's right.
Because actually it's like a terraced house, isn't it? I think he bought two terrace houses, knocked them together and then extended out the back. It's you should go. It's really good. Anyone actually who hasn't been to Wilton's, it's worth a visit. Yeah,
I saw Roy Hudd in pantomime there, and it was superb.
Oh. Well, wasn't he the president of the music hall?
He was president of the British Music Hall Society, and can I just say, join that if you're interested. It's so good. And if all you need to do is go to the British Music Hall Society website and it'll tell you all about how to join. Yeah.
Well, I had a rather unfortunate association with the British Musical Society. Or an event that happened. I knew Roy a bit.
Yeah.
And he was great fun. And he was giving. I had this old warm-up man called Bobby Bragg. You know Matt Bragg.
Yeah.
His dad. So Bobby Bragg used to do all the warm-ups for TV Burke, and I knew he was a friend of Roy's, and I said I'd love to meet Roy. So we went out for. But Bobby was very ill. He got very ill, and anyway, the three of us went out. And I said to Roy, I said, oh, by the way, Roy, this is on me. He goes, I'm a diabetic and he's got cancer, so it's going to be a cheap bill. Anyway, he said, oh, will you come along and present Bobby with this award from the Musical Society? So I go there. And I've been to some like the comedy heritage things. I've been to those. Have you been to those?
No.
They're quite old. People there are quite old, but the British Musical Society, they're old. I mean, they're really, really. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of.
I think they're looking for younger members. Actually, I have to say.
Right. So I go on, and we're on like a raised thing. There's a table there. It's me, Roy, Bobby, and then there's some other kind of dignitaries of the all really old. And I go on and I say, well, thank you. He hands over to me, and I go, it's great to be here at the. Dignitas Reunion Dinner. Nothing. Okay. And then I carry on a bit, and then the bloke on the end fell off.
Oh,
Fell off the stage. And everyone goes, and then I'm like, what do I do? Carry on. No one moved. And in the end, someone got up and sort of helped him back up. But it was like really, I mean, wow. Really, yeah. So that's my experience with
It's
them.
not
But I'm
better
sure
than
it's
that.
a great, yes, I'm sure it's, I mean, I as a kid, I used to love watching that, The Good Old Days.
The good old days, indeed. Yeah,
Leeds City Varieties.
Leeds City Varieties, exactly.
Oh, I love that place.
So,
Well,
so
yeah.
it was. I mean, what you could think of music hall as a precursor to both stand-up comedy and pop music, but kind of joined, because in the kind of classic sort of Victorian music hall, there were lots of different types of acts. You could get performing elephants, anything, but the main type of act would be a comedy singer, and they'd be known as a comedian, and they would do a song. So you'd probably know some music hall songs. Oh, I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside. That's a music hall song by Mark Sheridan. Or Down at the Old Bull and Bush, that was Florrie Ford. And so a lot of these songs we've remembered. In fact, the reverses to Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside, nobody knows. The bit we know is just the chorus.
Right.
And
Yeah, a lot of them are like that, aren't they?
yeah.
My nan used to sing one, which I always really loved, called Oh Antonio. Do you know that
Oh, yeah,
one?
I do. Yeah.
I think there's that Mary Lloyd or
I think that might be Florrie Ford as well.
Florrie Ford, yeah. Oh Antonio, he's gone away, left me on my own-io, all on my own-io. I'd like to see him and his new sweetheart, because off would go Antonio and his ice cream cart. He's an ice cream man.
Yeah, and I think I'm right in saying that up would go Antonio, because I think the
Up
idea is she's
go
I think she's turning his
Antonio.
cart over in revenge for him
Oh, there's that
going off
it?
with somebody. I think so.
Yes, yeah. And so who were some of the comedians that we've...
Yeah. Well, there was a comedian called Little Titch. I've got on my shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So Little Titch was from Kent. He was from Cudham, and he was a very small person, and he had an extra finger on each hand.
Wow.
Which he's very self-conscious about.
That's
So
a
most-
head start right there.
Well, yeah, he was very self-conscious about it. If you see photos of him, he's often got his hands hidden.
Yeah.
But
Another
he's
pair
where
of mittens for Mr. Titch.
Yeah, indeed. Mittens would have been the ideal handwear. But yeah, he
Always thinking about the merch. I like
Yeah.
that.
yeah, indeed. He well, you could get a little wind-up Little Titch. You could get a little kind of wind-up model, and it would do because he was famous for this big boot dance where he would have
Yeah.
these long boots, and he would sort of tap dance on them, and he could sort of lean unlikely angles.
Yeah, it was the length of the feet,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that's
So
right.
they were
And he
like, have you seen
No.
pictures? Oh, yeah.
There's a famous film of it made in 1900 where he does this dance, and it's just amazing.
Because he goes up on the...
He goes up on them like stilts, and it's
Yeah.
probably very dangerous and quite painful to do. But he's where we get the word titch from.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was named after a famous sort of Victorian con man who was the Titchborn claimant, who claimed to be the long lost son of this rich Victorian family, even though he didn't look nothing like this guy. And famously, the Titchborn claimant was a large man, so he called himself, when he started off, Little Titch,
Little
because it was
Titch.
quite funny, the idea of him being Little Titch. And when originally Little Titchborn goes down to Little Titch, and then within his own lifetime, he'd given a word to the English language. That's how popular he was.
The bits I know of music hall,
Yeah.
which isn't a lot, but when I've had it sort of portrayed to me is that it was an area where actually women were well represented
Right.
and sort of doyens.
I'm so glad you raised that. Yeah, so Mari Lloyd was one of the biggest comedians of the music hall, and very, very saucy. My Old Man Said Follow the Van, that was one of hers. And the songs are always full of innuendo. And she's always kind of comes out on top. And then later in life,
Is that innuendo?
yeah, that's very good. Towards the end of her life, she had a song called I'm one of the ruins that Cromwell knocked about a bit, and it fitted the fact that she'd become middle-aged, like she had to change her persona in a way.
Right.
And when she died, I mean, like thousands of people lined the streets of London to say their final farewell to her. But another great woman from the music hall was Vesta Tilley, who was a male impersonator, and she was so popular that she influenced male fashions. Men would go along and check out her trousers or whatever. And she appeared at the first ever Royal Variety Show in 1912. And apparently the idea of a woman in trousers was so shocking to Queen Mary that she hid her face behind her programme.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was tough because in the Royal Variety Show, right into the mid 20th century, apparently it was a really tough audience because they...
Listen, I
was
played
gonna
it
say, it's-
1997. It wasn't easy.
All right, but did they do this? Because apparently this is what they used to do. They'd watch the Royal Box and only laugh if they laughed.
Well, I did it. I mean, against my better judgment. Really. I was on with the Spice Girls.
Wow.
What a double bill.
Did you do a number with
I
them?
wasn't on with them.
That would have been great. If you had got on with them, which song would you have done?
I probably would have done Do You Like to Be Beside the Seaside? No, but I did. So I was on with the Spice Girls, Jim Davidson. This
Oh, my
states,
God.
yeah, Jim Davidson. What's his face? Brian Conley.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael Bolton, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, and I went on. It was really tough, and you were very aware of the Queen up there in the. It was the Queen. I come off, and as I go off, I walk past. Des O'Connor was hosting. I walked past Jim Davidson, and I said, "How did it look?" And he goes, "It looked fine."
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like cold sweat job. So these are like
Actually, can I just tell you
please.
about another woman? There was an amazing woman called Nellie Wallace, and she played a kind of old maid type. So she plays a kind of woman who looks grotesque, but she's always interested in romantic adventures with men. Right, that's the basic comedy. And there's a live recording of her from late in her career, and it's quite rare to have recordings of these people with an audience. And she's really funny.
Oh, really?
And she does. One of the things they would do is, and Dan Leno pioneered this style, is that the song becomes less important. The song is just a little bit at the beginning, and then you stop and you do like 3 minutes of gags, and then you do the end chorus. So she does one of those, and she does this whole thing about how her father was ill in bed or something, and they recommended a trip to the seaside, but they couldn't afford it. So he stayed in bed, and they fanned him with a kipper. Right.
Right.
I think that's the same basic comedic DNA as you've got.
Yeah, possibly. Although I wouldn't open with it.
Yeah. It killed in 1948, I'll tell you that.
Well, see, Dan Leno's a name that comes up a lot, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Roy Hard would be going Dan Leno. This.
Well, he was known as the funniest man on earth.
But do we have any, is there any recordings
Yeah.
or any scripts or?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things, a bit like pop, when we were young, pop, you'd buy a single. Well, you would do then was buy a song sheet. So there are lots of song sheets of Dan Leno songs, and they have the patter written into them as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, but there are also quite a lot of recordings. There's enough for an album of recordings that would have been released on 78. Wow. And he was identified by somebody who worked with him as being the person who did the most to sort of shift the centre of gravity from song to patter. So you could argue that he's one of the progenitors of stand-up comedy. And but what's really tricky is because he died in the very early years of the 20th century, so it wasn't possible to record him with an audience. So it's kind of sounds weird because you hear this very crackly recording of somebody saying these really weird old jokes and no response. And he himself, because at that point you couldn't record like with one of these, you couldn't record electronically. It was like a mechanical process. So basically you had to put your face into a funnel. And he said, how the hell can I be funny into a funnel? Which is a fair question.
Yeah, yeah. And so then what, so if you say it ended in the sort of 50s.
Yeah, so it changed quite a lot in the early years of the 20th century. And one of the reasons was because the licensing laws changed. And what that meant was that you couldn't serve alcohol within the auditorium in most cases. So that meant that the wet money, as they called it, the money that came from drink sales, massively descended, right? So,
I know that phrase. I used to work in a comedy club, and the wet spend.
Is that what they call it?
Wet spend is nice,
thrown
isn't it?
around, and it made me feel ill every time anyone said it.
So what they did was, instead of having a show that in the Victorian era, the shows would be long, and they would advertise when each act was on, because people wouldn't necessarily go for the whole night. They would go to see this person or that person. But then they changed it because they needed to make more money on the ticket sales. So they changed from being these one long show to twice nightly. So they would do the same show twice night for 6 nights, so 12 shows in a week. and it maximised the money that could be taken on the door. But also, around the same time, it started to move from it being just these comic singers being the vast majority of the acts to being more of a mixed bill. So you'd get dancers and performing animals and magicians and ventriloquists and speciality acts, some of which were very weird. So I wrote this book, Britain Had Talent, about variety. And I've got Mark.
Well, what's the difference between variety and
they're really
musical?
kind of it really marks. I mean, they're both the terms. It's complicated because the terms are interchangeable, really. But normally, when you say music hall, you mean the early tradition. And once it goes to twice nightly, people normally talk about variety. But both terms were used really throughout the history.
It strikes me then with those sort of speciality acts. To me, it sounds a bit more like when I hear people talking about the start of alternative comedy, and there are lots of sort of almost circusy acts, like the guy with the block of ice and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Iceman. So I mean, I've also sort of written about that era as well. And what happened, one of the kind of influences on that was street performers, and they brought a lot of that stuff into it, like, you know, comedy escapologists and things. Who would be hung upside down and everything would fall out their pockets, that kind of thing. But there was an act called Henry Vadden, whose act was he wore a helmet with a spike on, and they would drop a massive wooden cartwheel and it would fall onto the spike and then he would spin it round.
Right. And presumably there was some build-up to this, because that's only...
Yeah, but also, absolutely, but also imagine doing that for 12 times a week.
Yeah.
You'd be shorter at the end of the week than at the beginning.
Well, remember Bob Blackman? Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah, used to smash the tray on his head.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mule Train.
Yeah.
Jimmy Tarbuck, name drop, told me a story about him, right? He's on tour with... stop me if I've told you this, but he's on tour with Bob Blackman, and Bob says, so every night he'd just come out doing Mule Train himself over the... He says to Jimmy, I've got a new bit tonight. He says, will you stand in the wings and watch? So Jimmy stands in the wings, and he comes and does Mule Train, smashes himself over the head with the tray. And then the last one, he leans into the audience and smashes over the head of someone in the front row, who gets up and punches him in the face. So what killed it off?
Well,
Telly.
So, yeah, that was a huge factor. I think there were a bunch of different things. I think one thing was that there was demographic shift. So the kind of population, the Glasgow Empire was one of the most famous or infamous, known as the graveyard of English comics. Particularly if you were there second house on a Friday night when people had been at work for the week and then been out to the pub and had a few inside them, hated the English. You know, they just, I mean, there's a kind of famously faked a faint to avoid facing the audience at the Glasgow Empire. But the point is, the Glasgow Empire was in Socky Hall Street in central Glasgow. And so all the people who lived in central Glasgow in working class communities, so once Glasgow was being developed and they started moving those people out to the new towns, the sort of satellite towns of Glasgow, suddenly people can't get to it, can't get home afterwards. So that was a huge thing. Also, kind of real estate prices in town centres were going up, so it was worth selling the theatres off. Also, the telly was a huge thing, because if you could see, when ITV launched in 1955, one of the big flagship shows, compared by Tommy Trinder, was Sunday night at the London Palladium. Well, if you could see the best variety acts in the world for free on your telly on a Sunday night, why do you want to go to the Leeds Empire and see a much lesser bill for money, where the theatre's peeling a bit and, you know, the acts aren't quite as good? So, it was a bunch of factors, really. But it disappeared. You know, it had been around for a century and it disappeared within about a period of 10 years.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
But in a way, like the alternative cabaret thing mirrors that, doesn't it? Because it starts in pubs and...
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, one of the things that helped alternative comedy to spread in the 80s was Cast New Variety. Yeah. It was a sort of left-wing theatre company that sort of repurposed itself as a promoter of this new entertainment, and it was called New Variety, consciously. And they ran the Hackney Empire. Yeah, they brought the Hackney Empire back as a theatre, because it shut down in the 50s. It was initially a TV studio and then a bingo hall for years and years. And this bunch of trots, this amazing bunch of eccentrics, they managed to bring it back. It's a fantastic achievement.
Wow.
Great. Well, look, thanks so much, Oliver. Now, do you want to plug those books again?
I absolutely do. Look at this.
Look at that.
You can't argue with it.
Britain Had Talent.
Britain Had Talent.
That looks really good. We can get that. And what was the other one you said?
Well, there's this Bawdy Songs of the Early Music Hall.
I'd like to borrow that.
Yeah.
Super. Anything?
So how do I explain this? So my 9, so that's my Welsh, my grandma.
Yeah.
Had lots of brothers and sisters, and one of the sisters was in music hall and was a comedian.
Wow.
But died in her 20s of TB. So like that's because people always go, oh, where's it from? And then suddenly a relative mentioned, oh, well, of course your 9th sister was a comedian at the time.
Well, one of the things is, I mean, the people who were the big stars made enormous amounts of money, but there were a lot of people who were not big stars who were really exploited. And in fact, in 1907, there was what's called the Music Hall War. It was a strike. And there's one of the theories about why Mari Lloyd was one of the only big stars who wasn't invited to be in that first Royal Variety performance in 1912 was because she'd been so active in that, in that strike.
Really?
John Major's dad was also active in that strike.
Really?
Yeah, because he was a music hall comedian. Yeah.
That's mad. It's amazing. But I love it because one of the reasons when I'm on stage, I always wear sequins and I always dress up. And part of it is trying to do a head nod to that kind of world, and I love playing those venues.
There's quite a funny thing that they really looked after their costumes, and famously there was a booker for Moss Empires, one of the big chains, Cissy Williams, who wouldn't book an act if they had dirty shoes, right? But there's a thing that they wouldn't, if you're wearing it like a suit, if that was your thing, that you wouldn't sit down in that. Never sit down in the props. You take them off in the break.
Wow.
Wear a dressing gown or something.
That was the funny thing of that Royal Variety. So I'm in the same dressing room as I had this, there was a kind of ventriloquist bloke with a bird, and there's the Russian strongman, and there was, Brian Connolly, because there's not enough. And all those acts, all the acts from sort of the generation before me, they all had dress shoes.
Yes. Yeah.
Patent the dress shoes, I didn't.
Can I tell you about a strong woman?
Aherne?
No. Her name was Joan Rhodes, and I interviewed her. She was 89 years old, and she was fantastic. Her act, she wears like a spangly basque and fishnets and massive heels, and like blonde and, incredibly glam. And she comes onto a song called Sweet and Lovely, and everybody thinks this is going to be a stripper, but no, she challenges men in the audience to feats of strength. And defeats them in, tug of war, like 2 or 3 men on each arm. And
Brilliant.
She tears a London phone book in half, and she bends a steel bar around her knee or her neck. And she was a remarkable person. She also beat me at Scrabble after the interview.
But that's another story. Thanks so much, Oliver. Really good to talk to you.
So good, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That was our theme of the week.
It's the Harry Hill Show.
It's time for Name the Celebrity Seed.
Name the
Celebrity.
seed.
It is a celebrity version of Name the Seed. Are you familiar with the...
Well, I know Name the Seed. I don't know about Celebrity Name the Seed.
Well, it's a... Oh, hang on. So that's come out of the... That's come out of the... That should be in that bag, but it's not important. It doesn't really affect the gameplay. It's more the part of the build-up, and that's a big part of it. There's the...
Okay.
How many?
8,000.
Seeds. In there, I've got a sealed envelope.
Okay.
And you can see that's been sealed.
Yeah, it has.
And what does it say on the front, Kiri?
It says Kiri Pritchard-McLean, my name.
It does. So this has been something we've prepared specially for you.
Thank you very much.
And when we say celebrity seed, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, is it a pun? Is it a seed that is also, or have you dressed up a seed to look like a famous person?
You're not far off. You're not far off. On the
I know what the seed is.
Wait your turn. So there's a seed on there, okay, and on top of the seed is a tiny photograph of a celebrity.
Mm-hmm. It's really tiny.
It is tiny. And your job is, I'll press that button, up it goes, and you have to name the seed and also the celebrity.
Okay. Do they have any relation to each other, the seed and the celeb?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So that would have been a better idea. That would have been, make a note of that.
Okay.
That would have been a better idea. Are you ready to play?
I am ready. Okay.
Up it goes.
Can I get stuck in?
Yes.
Is it, well, I know the seed. I know the seed.
Oh, you know the seed.
Yeah. It's a pea.
Are you saying pea?
Oh wait, it's a nasturtium.
Well, I mean.
And is that Peter Mandelson? Is that a pea? Is it a pea? Is it nasturtium? Can I touch it?
You can. Well, it's glued to the bit of card.
Okay. Because I feel
Well, you can touch it. No, you can touch it. Yeah.
I feel like maybe it is a nasturtium.
Do you want the magnifying glass?
Yes. Wait, is it the director who died?
Who would that be? Robert Redford?
No, the amazing director with the shock of white hair.
Steven Spielberg? Hasn't died, is he?
Sorry to tell. I've come here to tell you that. No, the
Richard
guy.
Richard Attenborough?
No. Can I get stuck in?
Cecil B. DeMille. I mean, we could go on and on.
This does not improve. Well, is it? Oh no.
Go on. Is it a man or a woman, do you think?
I think it's a man.
Right.
I would have said Stuart Lee. But he's got a little jaunty bow tie, sort of one of those. He's sort of got a KFC tie on.
To be honest, I've forgotten who it is. But it's on the other side. We can have a look on the other side. Are you ready to commit?
I'm going to commit to. Oh my God, who is that? I do know that face.
Oh, she knows the face. So it is a face. But some
It's
of
a face.
them have complained that it's just.
The tie is more prominent. Oh, I really. Oh wait, I know exactly that. Is it Billy Connolly?
Are you saying P. Billy Connolly?
Yes. Or nasturtium Billy. Oh.
Well, it is a P.
Is it a P? Okay,
It is
fine.
a P. But the.
Oh, it's Mark Drakeford, of course.
It's
our former First Minister of Wales. I should have always known that it was Mark Drakeford, yeah.
There's a bit of Billy Connolly. And a bit of Stuart Lee, if I'm honest.
There's a bit of Stuart Lee. There is. Definitely on the other side. You can see it like that. You can see that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I see, yes. No, it's always been Mark Drakeford to me.
Just, well, I'll have to take your word for it. Well, thanks.
You've got 1 out of 2. Congratulations.
Thank you. Can I plant this?
Well, we need to get the close-ups of it.
Okay. Because I'll let you know how my Mark Drakeford peas get on, if you like.
Please, that'd be great. And it'd be really interesting to know if when it grows, it looks like Mark Drakeford.
Yeah. And it lowers the speed to 20 miles an hour around my farm.
Is that what he's done?
It's probably the thing he's most famous for, but he was just the leader when it happened. But anyway. It's brought down casualties and fatalities, and yet still some mad old right-wing people think we should bring it back.
Yeah.
There were more dead Welsh people.
Yeah. Well, let's bring it down to 10, I say.
Yeah, perfect. Let's do it.
Celebrity. That's brilliant. I love the way you're so fascinated by that.
Gary's Joke Corner. Hello, Kiri.
Hi, Gary.
I was here all along. I was down there, wasn't I, Daddy?
Yes, you were, Gary. Don't make that noise, Gary. Why not?
It'll limit my appeal.
Can I say, just speaking as a foster carer, the state of that collar, it would be flagged as a safeguarding issue.
Yeah, he's only 12. Oh, you see, from what you
No,
mean?
his collar's
his
filthy.
collar. Yeah.
And I would be asking questions about, is there, levels of neglect there?
Well, I can answer that. There is.
That my work here is done.
So Gary is taking over the business in 2030, 4 short years from now, and he needs jokes. So do you have a joke for Gary? Have you got a joke for me?
Yeah, this is it's kind of I'd say a very family-friendly joke.
Great.
With a lot of economy to it.
He
I
works
think.
clean.
Okay,
mainly
great.
clean.
So Gary, this is my joke, which is, where do cows go on holiday?
I don't know.
Let me just think. Where do cows... There's one about cows. What comes out of the Isle of Wight? What's browning? Something out the Isle of Wight? Well, that's it. What's brown and comes out of cows? The Isle of Wight ferry.
Good, yeah, good stuff.
Is that it?
No, no, because it's a different setup.
Oh, okay. What was it again?
Where do cows go on holiday?
Where do cows go? New Zealand?
No, not bad. Yeah, quite close.
South Wales?
You're right with the moo and what you're replacing.
Newcastle?
No, that is who goes on holiday there. I don't mean that. It's lovely.
You've already upset the Welsh.
New York.
New York, yes, I love that one. New York. Have you got a joke for us, Gary?
Yes, I have, Daddy. Daddy. I recently ran into a 60s singing icon.
Really, Gary?
Yes, a 60s singing icon in a retailer of athletic apparel. And she was noshing on a citrus fruit.
Lululemon?
No, Sandy Shaw with a tangerine.
That's the sound that tells me it's the end of our Podscarf. So all that remains is to thank our expert, Oliver Double, and of course our special guest, Kiri Pritchard-McLean.
Butterfly in blue jeans, hamster in a chiffon top,
Puppy in a poncho, fluffy duckling with a bob.
butterfly in blue jeans. These are the things of our dreams. These are the things.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Of our dreams. Lovely, Kiri. What a lovely voice you've got.
We can all sing in Wales.
Yes, they can all sing in Wales.
Harry Hill Show!
Excuse me, would you mind repairing my shoes?
Let's have a look at them.
Okay.
Sure, I'll have them ready by Wednesday.
Thank you.
It's the Harry Hill Show.